So last time, as one of you said, I had said some terrible things, but I had immediately told that it is Swami Vivekananda who is telling, so please don't blame me. And I might have given sleepless nights. So I will continue this trend today, don't worry. So just a recapitulation of last time, we had seen that Swami Vivekananda says Maya is not a theory for the explanation of the world. It doesn't explain anything. It is simply a statement of facts that this is the situation. Now, after understanding only we can deal with it. Without knowing where we stand, even the thought of remedying the situation won't even arise. So, it is simply a statement of facts, and that is not very palatable. What is that? That the very basis of our being is a contradiction. That everywhere we have to move through this tremendous contradiction. What is that? Wherever there is good, there has to be evil. Wherever there is evil, on finding, we will find that there is some good hidden there also. Wherever there is life, death must follow as its shadow. And everyone who smiles will have to weep, and vice versa. So, what is an ordinary man living for? An ordinary man is living for happiness. Happiness means what? Whenever we use the term happiness here, always please note, this is what we derive from the word. This is not the supreme happiness. That is beyond happiness and misery. This is what we are deriving. When we are having some pizza, when we are watching some movie, when we are got a good deal at some supermarket, so the joy we feel, that is called happiness. And we are all searching for happiness. From very young age we are taught that that is the only thing to be had in the world. Education, get a good education by. The only thing which will be told is you can get a good job or you can have a business. And why? You can earn money. That is called moving up in the society. So beyond that, very few of us know anything. So this happiness, which is just another name for worldly enjoyment, this is what we are after. But as Swami Vivekananda says, wherever there is this kind of enjoyment, misery has to follow. You cannot get out of it. So this is true of all sense enjoyment, of all intellectual enjoyment, of any kind of enjoyment of which the human mind is capable. And if you analyze in this way, they are nothing, they are zero. They are all within this network which is called Maya. And we cannot go beyond this if we don't adopt special methods. So we may run therein through infinite time. There will be no end to this. What will happen? We will struggle and get a little enjoyment, and in return, a whole mass of misery will fall upon us. So this is awful. We are moving 5 steps forward, then again we recede by the same distance. So what is happening? Actually, we are not moving forward at all. Worldly advancement is no advancement. We are going around in circles. So in a merry-go-round, you can go 100 years. You will always return to the same position. In physics, resultant. If there is a ball in a box, so you hit it, it may travel 100 miles, but actually what it has traveled, the original point, there will be a straight line drawn. So the resultant, if it is 0, then the ball has not moved. Actually the ball has not moved. So innumerable times we have enjoyed, so to say, the same pleasures. From so many births, we are having ice creams, we are having husbands, wives, children, grandchildren. But still we are doing the same thing. That is a tremendous, most surprising thing in the world. If we have not found satisfaction after doing that 1,000 times, 1,000 + 1, how will it make a difference? It cannot. We are thinking we'll find something new. There is nothing new here. The same enjoyment is coming in different forms. So these things are going on day and night. And Swamiji says, then what is the solution? To find a solution within the world is impossible. Within the world. Because then you are in the same network. So within the world, here this is the fact, and there is neither how nor why in fact. We all know that it is, and we cannot help it. We cannot do anything. So why do some animals eat other animals? Why do some animals are vegetarians, they live on grass and not? Nobody knows. It is there, that's all. So like everything in the world, this is also a statement of fact. So what happens? What does it show? That it is all futile. Searching for happiness in the world is futile. Of what use is happiness if along with that we also get an equal amount of misery? Look at the sum total of good and evil in this world. We can read the history books, go into ancient Egypt. Wherever you go, has it changed? Ages have passed. The world thought that each time the problem would be solved. But with its solution, new problems have to arise because there has to be other side. It is bound to happen. The problem may change its form, but it will arise. The government passes a budget each, 5 years in India. I don't know here what it is. So have you ever seen a budget which has pleased everybody? It is not possible. If you give somebody some grants, it has to be taken from somebody else. You rise one place, there has to be a fall in another place. So there is no solution. The senses drag the human soul out. Our ears, nose, always looking outside. Some nice smell, oh. Some nice taste, go. But man is seeking for pleasure and happiness where it can never be found. Nobody has ever found that happiness without misery. It is impossible. And for countless ages, saints and sages in all countries have taught it is all futile, it is all vain. What did Buddha teach? Give up Trishna, give up desire. What did Christ say? Give up all that you have to the poor and take up the cross and follow me. Same thing has been said in the Gita, same thing has been said by Ramakrishna, by Rama. That is, there is no happiness here. But we cannot learn. It is impossible for us to do so except through our own experiences. We try and a blow comes. Do we learn? Not even then. Swami Vivekananda says, like moths hurling themselves against the flame, we are hurling ourselves again and again into these pleasures, hoping to find satisfaction there. We return again and again with freshened energy, birth after birth. Thus we go on. And in the end, what will happen? Crippled and cheated, we die. We are crippled. We cannot walk, we cannot see in the old age, cannot hear. And cheated. We feel that we have given everything to the world did not give us anything in return. So if this is the truth, we are in a state of hopeless contradiction, neither existence nor non-existence, neither misery nor happiness, but a mixture of them, then what is the use of Vedanta and all the other philosophies and religions? And what are we to do then? There has to be some solution. So, is there any hope? Swami Vivekananda asks. is there no hope then? True it is that we are all slaves of Maya, born in Maya and live in Maya. Is there then no way out, no hope that we are actually all miserable, that this world is really a prison, that even our minds and intellects are prison houses, have been known upon ages for ages. There never has been a man, a human being, who has not felt this some time or the other. He may talk, he may try to hide it. And the old people feel it most because in them is the accumulated experience of so many years. They cannot be easily cheated by like young people. So is there no way out? So in answer to this question, Swami Vivekananda says, two ways have been proposed. What is one way? That is the most common. And that is, yes, we realize it. It is true. But don't think of it. Don't think of death. Don't think of old age. What is the use? Till you are young, you have your enjoyment. Those have to come. So why bother thinking about them? You cannot avoid them. All these. Don't think of these. Like in English they say, make hay while the sun shines. It is true. It is a fact. But don't mind it. Get whatever little pleasure you can. Don't look at the dark side of the picture, but always towards the hopeful side. So this is one way. This may be a good motive power. Hope and positive ideals are very good motive powers for our lives. But there is a great danger in this. What is the danger? We will not advance even a little bit. We will give up the struggle. We won't even start the struggle. Such is the case with those who preach, take the world as it is, sit down as calmly and comfortably as you can, and be content with all these miseries. When you receive blows, say to yourself, they are not blows but flowers. And when you are driven about like slaves, say that you are free. So what are we doing actually? Day and night tell lies to others and to yourselves. Because that is the only way to live happily in this world. This is called practical wisdom. Be practical. Why are you thinking all these God and soul and all these things? Who has seen God? All these are mumbo jumbo. But this practical wisdom fails, as it always must fail. So Swami Vivekananda gives the example, there is a dead body which is rotting. So what do? You don't do anything about it. You just bring some flowers and put it on top. So that smell can be hidden. But you can't do it forever. And the flowers also won't stay forever. So with our lives, Swamiji says, and most of the time I am quoting, we may try to cover our old and festering sores with cloths of gold. But there comes a time when the cloth of gold is removed and the sore in all its ugliness is revealed. Because we cannot lie forever. And till we keep deluding ourselves in this way, we will never get out of Maya. Who can get out of it? Now Swami Vivekananda answers. Only he can do it who has a tremendous dissatisfaction with the present state of things, with this kind of life, and an intense hatred for this patching up of life, a disgust for fraud and lies. He alone comes out who dares say, as the mighty Buddha once said under the bo tree, when this kind of practical wisdom came in front of him. So, when the temptation came to him to give up his search after truth, to go back to the world and live the old life of fraud, calling things by wrong names, then what did Buddha say? Buddha said, death is better than a vegetating, ignorant life. It is far better to die on the battlefield than to live a life of defeat. So these people who have realized the truth behind this Maya and they don't want to hide the facts, they want to face the truth bravely and find a way out. If they try, what will they find? If they don't give up the search after truth, what will they find? Swamiji says, even with this terrible fact before us, in the midst of sorrow and suffering, in this world where life and death are synonymous, even here they will hear a small voice that is ringing through all ages, through every country and in every heart. What is that voice? That voice is the voice of saints, sages and incarnations. That voice is of the Gita. This, my Maya, is divine and very difficult to cross. Yet, those that come unto me means they go to God, cross this river of life, cross over this Maya. Same thing Jesus said, come unto me all ye that labor and are heavily laden, and I will give you rest. God promises. That is the voice leading these men forward. Human beings have heard it, they are hearing it through the ages. And this voice comes to us when everything seems to be lost. Hope has fled. Man's own dependence on his strength has been crushed. He sees darkness everywhere. Then he hears it. That God is telling this. God is telling all the time. But till before that, he was busy with shopping malls, busy with husband, wife, children. So he could not hear it. When he is ready, he hears it. This is called religion. So, on one side, therefore, is the bold assertion that all this is nonsense. This is Maya. But along with it, there is the most hopeful assertion that there is a way out beyond this Maya. So, practical men of the world will tell us, don't bother your heads about such nonsense, religious metaphysics. Live here. This is a very bad world, but try to make the best of it. On the other side are men like Buddha, Jesus Christ, Ramakrishna, all these people. And their attitude is what? That no, this kind of falsehood, if we practice, then what is the use of human life? So, when we think ourselves to be religious, we should really concentrate, we should think about this. But are we really, Swami Vivekananda, as he says, are we really struggling to get out of this world of Maya? Have we really answered the call of God? If we are doing, if we are trying to doing, then we are religious, not otherwise. So when a human being takes this kind of stand, he is on the way to find the truth, on the way to God. So first thing must be that determination, the first impulse towards becoming religious. What is that? What is that? Swamiji says, I will hew out a way for myself. Either I will know the truth or I will die. So why does what makes a man say like this? Because he is realized that on one side there is nothing. So suppose we are going to a mountain, there is a deep gorge on one side. It is sure death. I mean, a person has told if you go there, you are sure to die. There is no hope. And on the other side, there is another path. He says it is very difficult, full of dangers. But if we keep on, we will escape. There is no doubt about that. So what will a person do? He knows on one side there is sure death. He cannot get anything. So the other path is the only way open to him. So when a man becomes really spiritual, really religious, what is his realization in the heart of his hearts? Swamiji says he knows on this side it is nothing. On the side of the world, in the world of Maya, it is nothing. It is gone. It is going every day, vanishing every day. He says the young boy of today is the old veteran of tomorrow. Everything is gone. It comes and goes. We can never get out of this maze, the web of Maya. We will be like a man who has been searching for water all his life, but till the end, he remains thirsty. Why? He is searching in the wrong place. So, they realize that on the side of the world there is nothing. The way to God, it may be difficult, but it is better than zero, is it not? So, what do these people have to do? Now, what do they do? They have to work against Maya. Swami Vivekananda says the way is not with Maya, but against it. This is another fact to learn. He says, we are not helpers of nature, we are competitors of nature. In this weather, nature says, go out and die. With all this snow and cold and all. Man says, no, I will build a safe place, I will build a house, I will make it comfortable, I will make it livable. So what is he doing? Every time he is competing with nature and coming out on top. So he is a master of nature. So we are its masters, but currently we have not gained full mastery, not beyond a limit. We are binding ourselves down. Swamiji says, why is this house there? Nature did not build it. Nature says, go and live in the forest. A human being says, no, I will build a house and fight with nature. And he does so. So the whole story of humanity, Swamiji says, is a continuous fight against this so-called laws of nature. And human being gains victory in the end. So this is the external world. Same thing is happening in the internal world. There too this fight is going on. Now this fight is against what? Who are fighting in the internal world? The animal man is fighting against the spiritual man. The fight is between darkness and light. And here too, a human being will become victorious in the end. He will succeed in cutting the way out through Maya and becoming free. So all these various manifestations of religion, Swamiji says, in whatever form and shape they have come to mankind, this is one common basis. All the religions, if we go deep enough, this is the one thing which is common. What? the preaching of freedom, you cannot change the world. You are in a prison, suppose. Hundred thousands of criminals are there, system is there. You cannot change it. So what will you say? Please, just let me get out. That's all. Is it not? So the way to freedom is simply getting out. All these saints and sages never reconciled the world and religion. They never told us that one day the world will become such a place where there will be no misery. So be happy and comfortable. No, they never compromise with the world. So this is what every religion preaches. It is not just going to the temple or church once a week and asking God, give me this, give me that. It is not that. It is much more beyond. That may be the first step, but it cannot stop there. So then when a man takes this stand, when a human being takes this stand, that whatever the cost, I have to get out of this terrible hole in which I am in. There is everywhere it is only darkness. After that, the struggle begins. And working against Maya means what? Internal struggle. Means we are working against our natural inclinations, inimical tendencies. So what then is the way out? As we have seen, the world is full of contradiction. Take one side, you have to take the other side. Rise and fall, they are not two things, they are the same thing looked at from different angles. Two children are on a seesaw. So, what will you say? Seesaw is going up or it is down? Both at the same time. If it does not go down at one end, it cannot go up at the other end. So the world is like that. You cannot change it. So what does a person who is struggling after freedom, what does he do? He tries at least he tries. He will not succeed in one day. So knowing that good is another name for evil, life is another name for death, he will give up both. He has realized the only way to stop evil is to stop good also. There is no other way. To stop death, we shall have to stop life also. Life without death and happiness without misery are contradictions. And neither can be found alone. Because each of them is a manifestation of the same thing. So then a question will come, my goodness, what is Swami Vivekananda telling? Give up good? Then with what shall we remain in the world? So we have to understand what this giving up of good means. Giving up of good doesn't mean that we will stop doing good actions. Not at all. In fact, the first step in spiritual life is doing good. So what is the use of good work then? If good and evil are obverse and reverse of the same coin. If you cannot do good without doing some evil, and whatever you are doing will create happiness at one end and create misery also at the other end, then this question is bound to come. Then what is the use of doing good? The use is, that is the only way of getting out of this life of contradiction. Through doing good without expecting anything. That is the secret. If you want something, if you do some good work and want something in return, then that return will come, but the other part will also come. The evil associated with work, that will also come. So giving up both good and evil means what? Performing actions in such a way that we are not at all bothered about what we will get in return for that. So when we do good actions in a completely unattached way, we actually, in the long run, we gain true life. That life is beyond this, what we call ordinary life. Ordinary life means what? Being in a body. Is it not? When a person leaves the body, we say he has died. He has gone. So when we say he has gone somewhere, the very fact means that he has not ceased to exist. He has gone, but he is there. This means being in a body, our life is not dependent on being inside a body. Whether we be in any kind of body or not, we cannot really die. The soul cannot die. So the soul understanding that it can never really die, it is not the body, it never was the body. That is what is meant by gaining true life. So we should not think that giving up good means giving up doing good actions. Swami Vivekananda says, we must do our part in this world. We must do good because that is the only way out of for getting out of this life of contradiction. The forces of good and evil will always keep the world as it is. But what we can do, we can awake from our dreams. And he says, give up this building of mud pies. Children, what do? Build up some mud pies. You make some kind of castle. It is just play. It is nothing. So all these so-called pleasures of the world are just like that. Child's play. If we want to remain children, nobody is stopping us. Good. But if we don't, then this is the way. So, only good works are the way out of this mind. But they have to be done with a pure attitude. Don't give a man $20 and buy all the papers in your city to see whether your name has come or not in the papers. Swamiji says, serve as worship of God if you get a chance. Don't bother about the result. So that kind of work done without any thought of good or evil purifies the mind. That is the secret. So we should do good, and we should do good with more zest than ever, because that is the only way to purify our mind. So it is very difficult because people will say, then what is the enthusiasm for doing work if you don't expect anything? Why go for work when you don't want the dollars? Why do something good if my name will not appear in television? So all this happens why? Because true appreciation of this ideal is extremely difficult. People, unless we reach a certain stage of evolution, it is impossible to appreciate this. Ordinary person cannot do so. So we will see he will have tremendous enthusiasm for gaining a few dollars or gaining some sense pleasures, but we don't have enthusiasm for attaining God. Because we have no conception of that. That is the problem. So where does the problem lie? Root. What is the root? As we have said, the root is not understanding our true goal. Nobody is there to tell us, except the saints and sages. But who has the time to go to saints and sages? Who has the time to read the scriptures? People are so busy earning their livelihood or getting this or that. It's a question of priorities. People say we don't have time. We can have time for everything else, birthday parties, Alaska tours. We have time for all that. Celebrating all these things, marriage anniversaries, but we don't have time for this. Why? It's all nonsense. This does not stand anywhere in our list of priorities. Everything is done. You have 10 minutes. Oh, just take the name of God, read something good. That's all. Finished. Done for the day. So why? The root is we don't have any idea of the true goal of life. And again, Swami Vivekananda says, what is the goal of life? Is this world the goal of life? Nothing more? Are we to be just what we are? Nothing more? Is man to be a machine which runs smoothly without a hitch anywhere? Are all these sufferings he experiences today all he can have? Doesn't he want anything more? Is sense enjoyment the only goal of life? If that is true, he says, it will be a tremendous mistake to become a human being at all. Because animals enjoy sense pleasures with much more gusto, he says. The dog or cat enjoys much more while he eats, because all his powers are in the senses. So can this life, Swamiji says, this hideous chimerical existence, where we are kicked about like a football by every wind that blows, ever be the goal of the soul? If this is the only goal, he says, it is better to die this moment. Then why should I live anymore? Suffer again? Suffer old age, misery, death? Why should I live? If this is the only goal, better to end it. Don't want this life, he says. So, what is the goal then, if this world is not the goal? He tells us, like all other saints and sages, that the goal here is what? Why are we born? We are here for freedom, for knowledge. The goal of mankind is knowledge. That is the one ideal placed before us by the Eastern philosophy. Pleasure is not the goal of man, but knowledge. Pleasure, happiness, worldly things all come to an end. So it is a mistake to suppose that pleasure is the goal. And this is the cause of all the miseries in this world, he says. All the miseries. But finally a human being realizes that it is not worldly happiness, but knowledge, which is his true goal. And in the world, pleasure and pain both are teachers. That is their only use. If we are ready, pleasure will also teach us something, pain will also teach us something. When pleasure comes and goes, it will teach us, see, it came and went, but you are the same. You have gained nothing. And when pain will come, you will see, this cannot be avoided in this world. So both are teachers. So a wise man will learn from both pleasure and pain, but he will never make pleasure the only goal of his life. So this is the true goal, attaining freedom, getting knowledge. And Eastern philosophy says that this supreme knowledge is not dry knowledge. It is one with supreme bliss. Sat, Chit. Chit means knowledge. Suprasensuous knowledge. Knowledge beyond the organs, beyond the world. and Ananda. Ananda means supreme bliss. That bliss which is not like ordinary pleasure and pain, it is beyond both. So there is no contradiction there. When you attain that, you are free forever. So all religions are more or less attempts to show us the way to this freedom, how to go beyond nature. Though the crudest or the most developed, either they are expressed through mythology or symbology, stories of gods, angels or demons. All the Puranas you see, all these are stories. So they may be expressed through those stories, no problem. They may be expressed in the Upanishads. They may be expressed in the Bible. Different ways. So all the stories of saints or seers, great men or prophets, they can say it through the abstractions of philosophy also. But they all have only one object. All are trying to take us beyond these limitations. This network of Maya. They are all struggling. Means human beings are all struggling towards this freedom. But what you are doing now, we are searching for this freedom in the world. That is the problem. That is why even after searching for whole life, we cannot get. The soul is trying to express itself. That infinity is trying to express itself. And it is trying to express itself in the world. How can something which is infinite express itself in a limited thing? It is not possible. This Swami Vivekananda has explained in another way, in a very beautiful way, but that is a little detailed. So this idea of freedom, no human being can relinquish. He cannot give up because it is our very nature. Our whole lives will be lost without it. Every moment, nature is proving to us that we are not free. But simultaneously, there is another idea. No, I am free. So we are knocked down by Maya, shown that we are bound. Yet, together with that blow comes the feeling that we are not bound. Some inner voice keeps on telling us, we are free. But if we attempt to realize this freedom, to make it manifest, we find that there are great difficulties. But what of that? In spite of that, this desire will assert itself. We cannot stop it. We can stop it for 1 day, 2 days. Again it will come. I am actually free. And I will realize that freedom. So, we will find that there is a huge subject about ethics, morality. So, very short definition of ethics Swami Vivekananda gives. What is that? When this voice comes, I am really free, I have to realize that freedom. When we follow that voice, we are ethical. When we do what is needed to realize that freedom, we are ethical. We are moral. And anything we do which curtails that freedom, real freedom, is immoral. So not only human beings, but he says all the creatures from lowest to the highest are hearing this voice. And since they are not interpreting it correctly, they are trying to find freedom in this world. So I am first, I will be first. This is the result of all this misinterpretation. I will push others out. There will be competition, I will come victorious. All these problems are only due to one reason. We are not searching for this freedom at the right place. So, when we give up good and evil, life and death, It is not that nothing remains for us. People will think that what remains? Zero. No. Something much higher will remain. The whole religion, all these scriptures, what do they say? Saints and sages, what do they say? Renounce the lower so that you may get the higher. Sacrifice, give up, not for zero, not for nothing, to get the highest. So, where the world is, where there is the world of Maya, God cannot be there. Where there is God, this world will not be there. So, this world of Maya and God can never unite, like light and darkness can never unite. Their natures are completely opposite. Maya is bondage, God is freedom. So, we should always remember that giving up good does not mean giving up good actions. It means not even desiring the good result from our good actions. When we give up those nice things which will come to us, those evil things which will come to us will not also, we will be free from both. So this is the way of knowing how to do good. Then what will happen? Swami Vivekananda says, this knowledge of Maya, of the true nature of the world, will break down our fanaticism. Vedanta does not say that this world is all evil or all good. It says our evil is of no more less value than our good, and our good of no more value than our evil. They are bound together. This is knowing this. When we will work with patience. What happens? Why does frustration come? A person is there, he has done good works all his life, suppose, unselfishly. In the end, he finds nothing has changed. Same thing is happening. So once he understands this, that he was not trying to change the world, he was only doing as a worship of God to get beyond Maya, then he will never be frustrated at all. The sight of misery, of corruption, of evil will not throw him off his balance, because he has already understood where there is good, there has to be evil. So he will be patient, knowing that the world will go in its own way. We cannot change it. That is not our motive also. He will become calm, shant. So, in conclusion, we see that beyond this Maya, our saints and sages have found something which is free, which is, they call it God, Brahman, Allah, Jesus, whatever you want to say. And if we can get there, we will also attain freedom. We will no longer be bound by Maya. And the way is what? The way is to give up this world of dvandva, pair of opposites. Finally, when we succeed in giving up this insignificant life, we will go beyond nature, beyond Maya, and attain true life. This is the meaning of what Christ said. He that loseth his life for my sake shall find it. So this seems so silly. What does he mean? If you lose your life, you will find it. But it is a great statement when we understand in this context. And he says, he that loseth his life for my sake. He does not say, he that loseth his life for the worldly enjoyments that everybody is doing. We are losing our lives. We are going to die one day. No, if we lose this insignificant, limited existence for the sake of God, we give everything up to Him, knowing Him to be the only true freedom, existence, and bliss, then we shall find our new life. What is that new life? That new life is our real nature. The soul, the Atman. You can call it give it any name you like. So what happens? Slowly when we make spiritual progress, slowly when we advance, it may take one life, two life, three life, doesn't matter. What happens then? Swamiji says, the scene begins to shift. As soon as we hear that voice of God and understand it, the whole scene changes. The same world which was the ghastly battlefield of Maya is now changed into something very beautiful, very good. We see that reality everywhere. We no longer curse nature. We no longer weep and wail. So as soon as we understand the voice, we see the reason why all this struggle should be there. Then we understand the true significance. Otherwise, people keep on asking me, why did God create this world? And one person is online, she keeps on telling me, Maharaj, why did God create this world? So much misery. So we cannot know in this state of ignorance. And we say God has created this world as if God had come in front of us as our great friend and we have seen Him creating this world, everything like this. So when we say all this, we should understand our situation first. We have never thought anything beyond this world, beyond this running after worldly pleasure, searching here and there, doing this and that. We have never thought of anything. We don't feel the need for that. And then in the end, when we become old, when we say, oh, so much misery. But you did not say that when you were 20 years old. Then you were going about everywhere, having nice time, this, that place, eating this, eating that. Why you are saying only now? So, this is the thing. Then we find the reason. All our questions will be answered only then. We will no longer curse anybody. We will no longer curse God. And when we understand the voice, we will see all these being linked. All these pleasure and happiness and misery. We will see that they are in the nature of things. Because if there was no misery, only pleasure, which can never be, would have never have attained God. All human life, all nature, through this experience of pain and misery, is only struggling for one thing, to attain freedom. And let me end on a hopeful note, otherwise you will again tell me that we are saying only terrible things. So Swami Vivekananda says, all these are steps. We are going through them. Each human being. And it depends upon us what we will do. Because nobody can force us. Even parents cannot force their children what to speak of other things. So after a child is become big, then what will parents say? See, this is the thing. If he goes into some bad habits, or what can you do? You can just put the facts before him. See, this is the thing. This is the reality. The path you are following will lead to this. And the good path will lead to this. Now it depends upon that. Like in the end, right at the end of the Gita, Shri Krishna says to Arjuna, I have taught you all this. Now it is up to you. God will not force anybody. He has given intelligence. So, We can either accelerate the process of going beyond Maya, or we can remain as it is and keep on cursing even God and others all we like. It depends upon us. But still, even in this scenario, one thing is certain. Swami Vivekananda says. What is that? The big hopeful message that the mighty river is rushing towards the ocean. Mighty river means this whole concourse of human beings. They are all rushing towards the ocean. Every soul is rushing towards that ocean. And all the drops that constitute the stream means all the living beings will finally be drawn into that boundless ocean. That is the final goal. So, in this life, with all its miseries and sorrows, its joys and smiles and tears, one thing is certain, that all things are rushing towards their goal. And it is only a question of time when you and I, even plants and animals, and every particle of life that exists must reach the infinite ocean of perfection, must attain freedom, must attain boundless bliss, must attain God. So, with these words of Swamiji, everything I have said, I have only been quoting Swami Vivekananda. And of course, this can be a very long discussion. Many things are to be said, but we will end it here. Take up those things later. So let us stop. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.